Welcome to another episode of the Sports Sentiment. I am your host, Nick Urias, and we are back once again talking college football. San Jose State versus Oregon State this weekend in Corvallis. It's the final road game for the San Jose State Spartans, and they are coming off their second bye week before they have their final road game versus the Oregon State Beavers, and in a three-game homestand between the Boise State Broncos, the UNLV Rebels, and the Stanford Cardinals. So this is a big game for San Jose State, trying to get back on track after starting 5-3 and 3-2 in the Mountain West. And there was a lot of conversations coming off the bye week, maybe not so positive, but you know, the Spartans just trying to get back on track after a tough loss, 33-10 versus the Fresno State Bulldogs. And we'll most definitely get into the good, the bad, the ugly, just everything that's happened here through San Jose State season. And we're also going to be talking Oregon State Beaver football. And we got ourselves the perfect guest to talk Oregon State football. The sports editor at the Daily Barometer, the newspaper at Oregon State, Maggie Akins. Maggie, thanks for coming on to preview the San Jose State and Oregon State matchup. I know it's going to be a fun one in Corvallis.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm super excited.
Yeah, so let's talk about these two football teams real quick because I feel like the bye week came at like the perfect time for both of them, right? San Jose State, they had their rivalry game, wasn't fun. I was out there in Fresno, kind of a long game, for all I feel like for everyone that was a Spartan fan. I mean, they played three different quarterbacks, Walker Egan, Emmett Brown, and even Xavier Ward, the Sam Houston State transfer, and it was just kind of the game was kind of over before it really started in a way. They had their
hmm
opening drive touchdown to make it 7-0, and then Fresno State just kind of did their thing. They really played like an A+ brand of football. They were really good on third down. Their quarterback Mikey Keene was terrific. Defensively, they were great. The San Jose State quarterbacks combined for 4 interceptions, which you're not going to win the game like that. And for Oregon State, I mean, you guys are 4-4 overall. You guys had a terrific start to the season, starting 3-1, but you guys are kind of riding this 3-game losing streak. You guys have played some tough opponents. Just kind of what's the vibe here with the Beavers? Because last year, the last 2 years, it was really good under Jonathan Smith. He packs his bags for Michigan State. And now it's you kind of got like this new regime in a way. I know Trent Bray, he was the defensive coordinator, kind of got promoted as the head coaching gig over there in Corvallis. And like I said, it's a new regime, but just what's the vibe in the room there in Corvallis right now? Because you guys are 4-4, and I know the goal is to make a bowl game.
Yeah, that is still our goal, and I think that we can still be possible to do it if we win all of these games that we have coming up. But I think that the vibe that we're going for is just taking it one game at a time, and we can't focus on these past games. We have to move forward with what we're doing.
Yeah, and I feel like that's the same like for San Jose State, right? Because I know everyone wants to point towards the two conference games, and I know that's obviously Boise State coming to San Jose. Boise State is what, top 10 now in the country, top 12 now. So they're
Mhm.
obviously that's obviously going to be a big time ticket in San Jose. UNLV is on the top of the Mountain West as well. But like you said, you got to just focus one game at a time. And I feel like, for both of these teams, the bye week, like I said, came at the perfect time. You get to regroup, forget about the losing streak, forget about all the bad stuff that happened in the rivalry game. I know you guys didn't have the greatest rivalry game either, but you guys kind of have the chance, both teams kind of have the chance to regroup. I know for Oregon State, you guys have wins versus Idaho State, San Diego State, Purdue, and Colorado State. The one road game at Nevada, I feel like was a tough one for you guys because I feel like it was winnable. And then you guys come back and then you guys face a really good UNLV team. And I know the Cal game was not also great either in Berkeley 2 weeks ago. So trying to get back on track here. I know the offense wants to do the same because I feel like for the Cal game 2 weeks ago, for the Beavers, I mean, putting up 7 points, that game kind of like San Jose State game, kind of over, at halftime, if you will.
Yeah, and we definitely had in our multiple quarterbacks. We had Giovanni McCoy and Ben Branson, and Ben is a great asset to our team, and he's been there for a long time. So he brings a lot of leadership and knowledge to the team. And Giovanni is still learning what he's doing and getting the grips on everything. But yeah, I mean, the Nevada game was definitely winnable. It's just like I think it was hard to watch for sure. But it just comes to like still continuing the momentum that you perform in the first half to the second half and not letting like, I don't know, your mind get messed up or just continuing to rally.
Yeah, because Ben Branson, he's been there. This is like his third year in the program, if I'm not mistaken. He had a lot of starting reps like 2 years ago, right? When
Mhm.
really Oregon State was kind of really like the surprise of the Pac-12 a couple years ago. He was like 7-1 as a starter, really navigating the offense well. You guys obviously had DJ Uiagalelei there last year, and Ben was coming off the bench, but now, I know there was a quarterback competition all throughout fall camp this year in Corvallis. And now I feel like it's kind of wide open for you guys. I know the offense has kind of, been stuck in neutral the past couple of weeks with Giovanni McCoy. I know you guys are a run first team, and obviously you guys got hit by the portal with the coaching change, but
Yeah.
Anthony Hankerson, I know Jam Griffin, the second string back has not been available the past couple weeks, but that ground attack, I feel like that's where it starts for the Beavers. And Giovanni McCoy, I feel like he adds another element to that ground attack that, I feel like Oregon State fans maybe haven't seen. They want to get back to that, I feel like.
Yeah, Giovanni McCoy, he has a unique talent to him. He's got some strong legs to him and he performs really well. And I think his arm also is great. And then just with our running backs, yeah, Anthony Anderson just passed like 700 yards. He's definitely on his way to complete like a 1,000 yard season. And with Jan Griffin out, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's for Hankerson, he's had himself a terrific season. I know, the coaching staff, trying to figure something out here with the quarterbacks because at the end of the day, you got to put up points. I feel like the same for San Jose State because this is a team that likes to air it out a lot.
Mhm.
And, we have a new OC, Craig Stutzman. I know he's kind of caught a little bit of heat here with the way he's managed the quarterback room. San Jose State was kind of running a two quarterback system the past, since conference play, so like 3+ weeks ago. And now they're finally, it appears coming out of the bye week that they're going to be committed to a quarterback. All signs are pointing towards Walker Eget, who's been with the program for several years, going back to the 2020 season. And, I feel like there's been just so much chaos with the amount of change at quarterback that just there needed to be a constant. It didn't matter who the guy was, but at
Mhm.
some point, I feel like for the quarterback position, you have to, gain a rhythm. It's a rhythm type position. You can't be leaving in the middle of drives and then here comes a new guy, reestablish the chemistry a little bit. I feel like that's where the Spartans need to be. And they're finally committed to a quarterback. We'll see how it goes here in Corvallis, but I know Oregon State trying to. I know there's been some whispers who's going to be QB1 this weekend. I know Trent Bray's kind of keeping it. He's keeping his cards.
Keeping
And
it very
everything behind
silent.
closed doors.
Yeah.
I'm curious. Could it be Giovanni Ben? I know your other quarterback Jabari Johnson's kind of
Mhm.
gotten some looks and he was fighting for a job at fall camp. Just kind of based on what you've seen here the past couple weeks, what's that quarterback room looking like for this weekend?
I think Trent Bray is trying to keep Giovanni McCoy at QB1 because I think he wants to build that rhythm is what you were saying. And he's still got like a lot of potential and he's a great like yeah, like he is a great asset to the team. Like he performs really well and he's like what the team he's that young guy that the team is needing.
Let's switch gears towards the defense because I know these two defenses haven't been also great the past couple weeks. San Jose State, I feel like you can apply it for both of this analogy for both of these teams. Like it's like a two-way street, and right now like they're kind of both have like roadblocks in a way.
Mhm.
The offense and the defense. The defense has been on the field, I feel like for San Jose State, like the all game for like the past 3 weeks. And at
Mhm.
some point, like the offense has to produce, kind of going back to like the quarterback fiasco. Just kind of not constant, movement, no first downs on offense. And that's gonna lead to a tired defense. I know Oregon State's had a lot of banged up bodies on the defensive side of the ball. I've heard that you guys are going to get some of those playmakers back. Just what's this defense looking like for this weekend? Because going back to last year, I know the Beavers and the Spartans, they played last year and it was a really good defense. Oregon
Yeah.
State played in San Jose and that was really good, but not the same faces from last year to this year. Just kind of what's going on here with this defense.
Yeah, with the new faces to the defense and the new coach to our defense too, it's like it's kind of really underwhelm or over and underwhelming at the same time. But I think with like the returners that are still here, like Skylar Thomas, who's performing extremely well and being like a stat leader on our team, like he is, and being one of our captains, like he is like who the team relies on for a lot of things. And I think if and with the bye week coming up and everyone that like has been resting up can like come back and perform and be able to bring performance to the team, I think that the defense can definitely shine right now.
So I feel like for this game in particular, Oregon State hasn't been great with their rush defense. Neither has San Jose State. I feel like it's going to be a field day for both for on both sides for the running backs. I know San Jose State has not ran the ball a lot, and I know there's been a lot of conversations like, "Hey, San Jose State, like they got to get this ground attack going because it's been very good." But we all know that it's a first offense that they're going to throw the ball more often than not. But
Mhm.
this is, I feel like, a game for the Spartans where they could kind of get their backs, Floyd Chalk and Jabari Bates going, and then that will kind of open up the passing game. For Oregon State, I feel like for them to have success in this one, Giovanni McCoy, if he starts, is going to have to, kind of stretch out the field, kind of do some things with his legs, kind of keep
Mhm.
the defense honest. But you're going to need a whole lot of Anthony Hankerson just to kind of move the chains, keep things going. Because I remember, and I know Spartan fans had a long day or last year with Damian
Yep.
Martinez and Deshaun Fenwick last year. Hankerson, maybe not as dynamic as Martinez. I know he was running behind one of the best offensive lines in the country last year, but Hankerson is just as dangerous as those two backs I mentioned from last year.
Mhm.
I feel like both run games could have success in this weekend's contest.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
So for defensively, I feel like, for San Jose State, their pass defense hasn't been great either. And I know that this wide receiver position last year was a lot of Anthony Gould, Silas Bolden. The problem is that they're not there anymore. I know this wide receiver position is kind of just it has a lot of youth and it's still in some ways kind of like a little bit of a work in progress. They don't necessarily have that explosive receiver that maybe Anthony Gould was able to provide last year. Talk to me about this wide receiver room because it is in from what I've seen from the Beavers when they played this year, they're still kind of working out the kinks here. And but there's still some talent here. And so what's going on here as far as the playmakers through the air?
Yeah, I think our wide receiver room is definitely talented, and with our new OC Ryan Gunderson, he brings like a lot to the team for sure. And I think our main guy Trent Walker, who has been leading the team in receiving yards right now, he has just been continuing to do his best and bring what he can to the team as much as he can. Um, yeah, I think everyone new is still like figuring their themselves out and with what they can bring and like catch what they can and do what they can.
I'm just curious for, from the Oregon State perspective, just kind of like the vibe out there in Corvallis. I know you guys are shooting for the bowl game. I feel like for, San Jose State's sake, I know they're at the 5-win mark, but this is kind of like a critical game, I feel like, for both teams this season, especially for Oregon State. I know you guys are at the 4-win mark. I know you guys still have to play Boise State in Boise. How critical is this game in particular? I know you said you don't want to look too far ahead. I know Spartan fans kind of thinking the same thing here. But if you guys want to make that bowl game, uh, how critical is this game? Because the way I see it, I feel like it's going to be a coin flip game. It could come right down to the end,
Hmm.
and you know, that's just the way I see it. And a lot of uncertainties on, just what these teams are going to look like in some ways out of the bye.
Yeah, I think it's extremely critical. I think we need to win this one for sure to build some momentum. I think all our team needs is some confidence and some momentum. And I think our home field definitely is very strong. And the crowd that we bring and the fans that are there, they're very loud. And just the stadium, the enjoyment that the stadium brings to like the team is great. And
Yeah,
the
I was just
environment, yeah, it's very loud. Like the environment can be hard sometimes for
yeah,
sure.
I was just gonna say because San Jose State played at Fresno State, they had 50,000. We played in Washington State, wasn't nowhere near a sellout, but was still loud. But Research Stadium, despite all the changes and all the
Hmm.
conference realignment and stuff like that, you guys still pack a great crowd, which I
Hmm.
really respect. Corvallis, like I feel like the
Yeah.
ultimate college town. You guys got like a very close
Hmm.
community and fan base, and this is going to be a challenge for San Jose State. 30 like I think you guys packed like 35,000 the last home game, something
Yeah,
along those
around that.
lines. I'm curious to get your take. Do you like the 12:30 start based on the crowd, or I know the 7:30 kick was kind of floating around there. I
I,
what's your
I
take on it?
yeah, I like it. I think a night game is always super enjoyable with the fireworks that like are in the stadium and the lights. But I think a 12:30 game is just as exciting and people will still show up no matter what.
Yeah. This is probably going to be, I would say, the second hardest environment that the Spartans are going to have to endure this year. Which, you know, I feel like for a lot of, players, and they try to ignore the crowd, but
Hmm.
I feel like in the fourth quarter when the game is close and you got
Yeah.
the crazy rambunctious fans screaming on the top of
Hmm.
their lungs. Sometimes it can be hard to ignore, and when communication is key, we already know communication is key with sports, whatever sport you may play. Uh, I feel like that crowd could have an impact, and we'll see what happens there, but nonetheless. A big game for both sides, for Oregon State, for San Jose State. Maggie, before we close things out, where can people find your work? I know you're doing a lot of stuff for Oregon State athletics just as a whole. Where can people find your work out there in Corvallis?
Yeah, we have a daily online newspaper and a monthly print edition, and then we also have like our radio and our radio station and our TV section. But our online stories can be found on our website called with the Daily Barometer.
Sounds great. And I know we'll be out there. I will personally be broadcasting the game on 90.5 FM KSJS. So we will be making the trip out from San Jose to Corvallis for the final home game of the year. Myself and Jonathan Conness will be on the call for that one. So some exciting times. I haven't been to Research Stadium before, so and just the state of Oregon in general. So I'm just very excited to get out there and see what Oregon
Hmm.
has to offer in the game day field. So that should be a whole lot of fun. Maggie, thanks for coming on the podcast and talking San Jose State and Oregon State. Obviously a pivotal game this weekend.
Hmm. Yeah, thank you so much.
There you have it. Once again, I am your host, Nick Urias. We will be on the call, like I said, this weekend. It's a 12:30 p.m. kick this Saturday. We'll probably be on around 15 to 20 minutes before kick for our pregame show. So keep your ears peeled for that if you're interested. Once again, I'm Nick Urias, and be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.